Okay, so today I want to show you how to turn a photograph into an illustration or a cartoon in Illustrator, Photoshop, and then ultimately in the free software Gimp and get the same effect in Gimp for free. So let's do a quick, just a quick review on Adobe first. Okay, let's start with that. So the first thing I like to do before I bring my a photograph into Illustrator to do the trace, which is the filter I'm fixing to show you, is I like to make it as saturated as possible. And the way I'll do that is, and the reason why I want to make my image, the photograph, saturated is because when I bring it in and put this trace filter on it, it's going to be able to, the software is going to have more information to grab a hold of to be able to break it down, break the image down. I'll show you. So anyway, the way I do this in Photoshop, I go to Image, Adjustments, and then I choose Curves. And I will knock down some darks a little bit so that puts some more shadows on the face, and then I'll pump up a little bit brighter, so that way there's a little, it's darker and it's a brighter picture, it's more saturated. So that's how it starts. And then I'll bring the photograph into Illustrator like so. Let's see, I'm gonna bring the photograph in like there you go. So this is my saturated photograph that I just did in Photoshop. And with it selected, make sure that the little blue lines around it and it's all selected. I'm going to come up here to Image Trace, and I'm going to do let's say a 6-color image trace. So this is what the computer actually just grabbed a hold of and did for me. Command Z. Let's see. Let's do another one just for look. I can do a black and white one to get more of an image that way. There's all different kinds of image traces that I can do. So anyway, I'm gonna do. Let's see. I'm gonna do 16 colors. Let's see how this comes out. That's a little too illustrative for me. So anyway, I wanted to show you that there's a lot of different options that you can pull together in this. Now, as you can see, once I've brought it in, I brought it into the Illustrator, and I've run this trace option. That there's some information that's missing, and this is very common when you're bringing stuff in. That's the reason why I like to doctor it up a little bit before I bring it into Illustrator. So basically, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, when you're in Illustrator, you're going to have to grab either, you can use the pencil tool or the pen tool, and add some more information that needs to be there. So for instance, I will grab a color picker, and let's get the eyedropper tool, aka eyedropper tool, and I'm going to grab a color, and I'm going to get a pencil tool. Let's go ahead and use a stroke, and I'll add that information that's supposed to be down here because she doesn't have a nose. And let's just do that, and make it kind of, let's see, give her some points. So that's something, that's a start. So you understand that you're going to have to add additional information. So this is one that I finished, and I did a trace on, and I added a nose down here at the bottom. Now you can do the same, have the same effect. That's Adobe. We already did that. I showed you how to do that. You can do the same effect in Gimp for free. And basically the way I did it is I started with a photograph. So let's see, let's go to, let's see if I can find my photos over here. Yep. Let's see, I'll start with this photo. Keep. So I started with the photo, same photograph, and I can also saturate the photograph in Gimp too to get it ready for their version of trace. And the way I'll do that is I go to colors, and I scroll down to curves. It's the same name and everything, and look, it does the same thing. So you can kind of get your photograph nice and saturated just a little bit so I can get some darks to grab a hold of. And then the next part, this is really cool. I go to Image in Gimp, go to Image, scroll down to Mode, and you can see there's RGB, grayscale, but check this out, indexed. Grab indexed. And what this is going to do, it's going to break my photograph apart and separate the colors. So I can sit here and play around with this and have it separate as many colors as I want. So let's just say 4 colors just for fun. Do you see how that just really knocked out some stuff, really washed it out? Command Z. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to try something a little more image mode index. I'm going to try a little more colors for this, just for this demonstration, because I want this to look kind of similar to the one that I did in Adobe. I'm going to convert it to 10 colors. So the thing that's a little bit different after I did index, as you can see, that's the Photoshop version. As you can see in Illustrator, it's smooth, how it's broken apart and it's really smooth. Well, that's cool. But guess what? We can do the same thing in GIMP. I've got basically the same colors got grabbed in GIMP. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another layer. And look, I already named it Trace. I'm going to put that on top of my picture. And then I'm going to come down to the picture and I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool. Is that what they call it? What do they call it in GIMP? Color picker tool. And I'm going to go ahead and pick some of these colors. Now, here's the thing with the color picker tool, and also the paint bucket tool. Do you see the little black square? That's what's picking the color. So you have to be kind of mindful of what you want. To be mindful of where that little black square is. Okay, so I got a color picked over here. You can see I've got the lavender. Now there's several tools that you could trace with, but I really am liking the easiest one for me has been the free select tool. This little, in Photoshop it's called the lasso tool, because it's super easy to use. There's a lot of really talented designers on YouTube that show a similar method, and what they use instead is the path tool. And so what the path tool does, it's kind of like the pen tool, and you can change, use the handlebars to change the Bezier curves. And that's fine, and it's very precise, but I just think that the free select tool is a lot faster. So if you just want to start to kind of get everything cleaned up, make sure I'm on the trace, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over this where it's pixelated looking. I'm going to just go to the edge and kind of smooth it out. And what I love about this tool is that I can use it with my thumb on the trackpad, and then my middle finger is basically just kind of outlining everything, these areas. And oh, you know what? I'm gonna cut her eye off. I don't want to do that, do I? So I can go around here like so. And then the yellow dot means that your connection's been made. We've got marching ants. Now I'm going to come to the paint bucket tool. And here's the thing about the paint bucket tool. See if I'm out of bounds, you see the little cross, the little circle with the cross over it. I don't know what that's called. So make sure that the black dot's showing, and that's how you know that it took. So that's all I did. That's all I did. I just dumped some the paint bucket in it, and now I'm going to go to select, and I'm going to go none. And that's how you deselect in this software. Go to none. So that's basically what I did. Throughout, you can just keep doing this around and clean up some of the pixelated areas. And let's see, this is the finishing product that I did. I did this in probably about, I don't know, 10 minutes. Just for this demo. There's still some places that I could trace, that I could come back into and clean up. and flatten, but I think it's a pretty good, likeness concern. I mean, well, similar to this extremely expensive software, considering that this is the free version. So anyway, that's how you do it. That's how you can make a photograph into a cartoon in using GIMP, and how you do it in Illustrator too.